Welcome back. This is Angel with today's upper body core balance workout. You will need a resistance tube. So if you don't already have it, go ahead and get it. We're going to start with some shoulder flexibility movements. So hold it out in front. You don't have to stretch it. It could be fairly limp or just, held in front. You could use a broomstick. And we're going to take it all the way up and all the way around. So if you notice, I'm going to try and keep my arms straight all the way throughout the movement. So I'm making an arc up and over. We're going to try not to bend the elbows, even at this furthest point, and over. You'll also notice that I'm not trying to move my head right or left to try and make way for the resistance tube. Okay, so as much as we can, full range of motion through the shoulders. Okay. There. Let's do about 5 more. So feet are just going to be standing hip distance apart, stable, abdominal muscles in, shoulders back. So we're just going to have a nice neutral posture as we do this. Good. Last one. I'm going to take it all the way up, all the way over, and back. Good. And then holding here right in front. Again, arms are just going to be about shoulder distance apart, so maybe you have to bring this a little bit in. If this wiggles around too much, just take this in half. We'll hold it out in front. I'm going to pull it just slightly out. Pull. If it's too much, folding it in half, then just do it single. Okay? So it's not a huge movement. I'm just using my shoulder blades so I can turn around. I'm just going to bring my shoulder blades back toward each other. Right? So some scapular movement. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to now keep this in this position. I'm going to take my right foot over my left foot, all the way up here, and then take it over to the side. So I'm planting both feet on the ground, pushing my hip out, reaching my arms up and over. And then keeping my feet the way they are, taking it over the other way. So here you see my arm is starting to come front. I want to keep them as if I was between 2 panes of glass. So come back to the center, uncross, recross on the other side, and the same thing, over. So I can use this arm a little bit if I'm pulling slightly and holding this one, getting a little more stretch to the side body, and then up and over the other way, same thing. But keeping my body as if I'm between 2 doorways or 2 panes of glass. So trying not to lean forward to get a little bit more or even move this arm in front to get more. Everything all in this plane. Let's do each side once more. So uncross, recross, plant the feet. So sometimes you find that you are able to put your feet right next to each other. Like if you look down, it looks like you put your shoes on the wrong feet. Sometimes with the hips, one foot might be slightly in front of the other. Whatever you need to do to balance and not fall over. Straight up, over, and over. And is it wrong if one foot has to be slightly in front of the other? There's no right or wrong. Just note that if you have to do that, we're having some issues with the flexibility in your hips. So it's something that we'll need to address and kind of look into. I was bending my elbow here, trying to keep those arms straight. And up. Let's do the other side. Once again, feet. And you may have one side that feels a little bit better than the other. That happens all the time. We're very used to using one side. We get accustomed to that. It is a much more common movement. All right, and back through the center. We're still going to use this band. Now I'm going to have one foot forward and one foot staggered behind me. Now I don't know if you can see, but my heels are kind of lined up together. Ideally, that's where you want to keep them so that the hips are squared. So if I face you, my hips are squared, right? Meaning they're not twisted this way or twisted this way. So I want, even if I can't line up my hips, I want the feet staggered so that my hips stay pointing forward. Both hip bones forward and not angled sideways. So doing that, this comes all the way up. I'm going to push my hip from back here and push it forward. So I'll take it from the side here. So you see how, if you look, it's more at an angle back. I'm going to take this and push it forward as I look up, reach up, and maybe even reach back. Good. Big breath. Open. So if you're going to come back into this back bend or arch, try to physically lift out of the waist before you do so. So I'm not trying to slunk in and then crunch into my lower back. Find space, which is partly why we're lifting the arms up. Lift the rib cage, stretch up, and then start to arch your body backwards any amount that you can, including your neck, including your shoulders and upper back. And then come forward, slowly, hinge. Now if you look, nothing below my waist has changed or moved. And then I'm going to come down any amount that I can. Maybe my knee has to slightly bend. I come all the way down and then do it again. Same side, slow. Now if you see, my knee had to bend a little bit because I don't have a ton of flexibility in my hamstrings and hip to fully bend over. So make those minor adjustments as you need to. Lift up, reach up, arch through as if there was a barrel behind you that you are rolling over backwards. I had kids in gymnastics, and to get them to do back bends, they had this really cool foam barrel that the kids could arch over. I could use that right now. Okay, hip forward, and then bring it back, slow, forward, hinge, hold, and down. And then back up. And let's do the other side. So once again, line it up. I can come back this way. Here's my hip back here. I'm going to push this forward and then arch up. And then bring it back. Now you see I'm pushing this hip back, straight leg as much as I can, and then all the way down. Okay. The floor is not special. If you touch it, fine. If you don't, life goes on. And then bring this. Now the hip. Now we come back. And then forward. Hinge. Good. Okay, and bring it back up. Now, if some of these moves look very similar to yoga poses, it's because they are. We're adapting. Last one, again, similar to a yoga pose. I'm going to take my feet out past hip distance. Now, so I tend to push my edge of my feet out. So depending on what your feet do, whether they go in or out, I do want you to like grip your arches a bit or pull your inner thigh slightly in as you lift your thighs off your knees. So here are my thighs flaccid, right? I can just do this, they're jiggly, woovy, I can move them around like jello. Here, they are lifted, they are engaged, they're not moving. Engage your thighs, which tells the hamstrings, okay, it's your time. We're gonna bring this behind, belly in, and I'm gonna send my hips back, let my chest come down. You're gonna start to feel that somewhere here, probably. Okay, so I'm gonna turn sideways, thighs up, inner thighs together, and I'm going to come here. If this is where you start to really feel the hamstring, stop. Or see what happens and start to come down more. Okay, but not to the point where it feels like someone has taken the hamstrings and is yanking them from their insertion points or their connecting points. Okay, insertion, anchor. So get to that point where you feel about as much as you can feel without losing sense of self. So come here, find that. Here we go. Pull those shoulder blades or the shoulders back, shoulder blades together, and start to reach up. Now if you think you can go further down, go for it without leaning. So you notice sometimes we lean our hips back, keep them lined up over your ankles and knees. Hinge. And then slowly come back up again. Let's do that again. Maybe shake out the feet, move the hips around, engage, hinge, now maybe you find I have to soften my knees, otherwise this is as far as I get. That could be today. So ideally you want those thighs engaged and lifted if you can come further, but let's be honest, some days the hamstrings, especially after a long bike ride or a run, are not going to be nearly as welcoming to movements as they might be. So then maybe I, instead of lift or straighten my legs, I get that little slight bend. I get my hips back and I come forward and here. And then all the way up. All right. So for the hips, the shoulders, the back, some movements. Next we're going to do our balancing movements. Once again, this is great. If you have it around a broomstick, a hockey stick, anything of that nature, but this works just as well. Now I'm going to plant my right foot, and I'm going to lift my left. So I'm either going to keep my toe on the floor as kind of a, what's the word? I don't know, just to ensure that I have something to touch, or I'm going to lift it up. Find what feels best for you. Here is my tube, stick, whatever. I'm going to hold this here, balance, and now I'm going to start to take it to the leg that's up, to that side. So think of yourself a little bit like a sundial. Here is that sundial, here is that sundial. I'm at noon, 12 o'clock. And now I'm going to start to go maybe to 11. I'm going to start to go to 10. Woo! And I'm going to start to move myself toward 9. Okay. If you can see, my foot is still pointed at 12. My hips, upper body is starting to move to 9. If you can go any further, we can take it beyond. Okay? And then bring it back. Here's 9, 10, 11, and back to noon. Foot down. If the foot that's on the floor starts to cramp, and I want you now to open and close your feet, move your toes around. If it's happening as you're moving, I want you to make sure that you're using your whole foot, your toes, your heels, the side of your foot, your arch. So we're not just going to grip inside of our shoes with our toes. You're going to use and place your whole foot as if you were standing on the ground barefoot and putting your whole foot on the floor. And maybe, just maybe, you want to do this barefoot. It's an option. So let's do the other side. Nice and tall, engage here. Not just your abdominals, but your shoulders, your spine, your entire core from the top to the bottom. Engage. And that means also that if this is here, we're going to pull that hip so that you are standing tall. Okay? So same thing on this side. Hold. Got your sundial, 12. This time, we're going to go to 1. And 2. And 3. Ish. And beyond. Any bar. Holds. And back. In your head, there's this little count. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Otherwise, what ends up happening is we're here and we go, woo, like a 6-year-old. Let's do both sides again. This time, rather than taking it noon, 11, 10, 9, we have the right foot planted, left leg up. We're going to go the opposite way. So we already did one side. Here's 12. Now go the other way. Here's 1. Here's 2. Now maybe sing it backwards. Maybe you're in your head, you're going 10, 11. That's fine. Here's 3. And 4. Hold. 3, 2, back to 3, back to 2, back to 1, and other way. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3. I'm trying to move my whole upper body because sometimes what I see is this. Nothing here moved. So we're really trying to work at that movement. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. All right, shake it out. Other side. So first round was just toward the leg that's up. Second round, away from the leg that's up, and then back to the leg that's up. So same thing here. Okay, belly in, stand tall, open up your toes and feet. Here we go. 2, 1. 2, 1. Any amount. 3, 2, 1. Back. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, shake. Oops, I forgot. I was so excited to be done. Here we go. This is where my body wants to rush and get it over with. When I know the end game, I just want to get there. That's not how this works. Good. And then bring it back. You should start to be, hopefully you're feeling things. Maybe it's in your foot, maybe it's in your shin, maybe it's in your calf. We're looking for feeling, for reaction from the body. So let's do it one more time, because if that first 2 didn't get a reaction, round 3 hopefully should. And if it doesn't, then maybe we start adding some weight to this. Or you take off your shoes, or I add a Bosu or some other unstable device, okay? So today is mainly on a stable surface. If you found that this last 2 rounds inspired nothing in your body's response, then you get a pillow, you get something that is going to cause you that is going to throw off your balance. Let's see, and hopefully I don't fall, because that would be amusing, especially on film. Okay, so I want most of my weight in that standing leg. And then I'm going to take this. Okay. Woo, shaky leg. I think that's a song somewhere. Shaky leg, shaky. All right. So this, if you can tell, if I take my toe away, my foot is like, okay? So this could be what you need. But don't automatically come here because you think you should do something hard. Unstable surfaces are when you can master stable surfaces completely. So by master in this movement, 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That full like 180 turn. So, oof. Okay, that is mastering. Not what I just did, but I mean doing that full 180. If you are not there on the ground, do not add an unstable surface. Okay, that's just hopefully common sense, so that's, but I'm saying it just in case. All right, let's do the other one. I'm still trying the unstable, although I'm questioning my sanity at this point. Okay. So how does this benefit us? It not only benefits running, but also cycling, because both of those movements or both of those activities require the stability of one leg at a time. When you're seated on a bike, you're pushing one pedal as the other one relaxes, and then you're pushing the other side as the other one has a break to some degree. Same with running. Both legs are constantly in a state of flux, in a state of movement, but there's a dominant leg in every part of the movement and a less, like an assisting leg. So here you will discover which one is dominant and which one is not. And then you need to work on the one that's not dominant. Because when you run, cycle, even swim, you don't get the choice of just using your dominant leg all the time. It's not like your right leg is going to pedal much more than your left, although that probably happens, or your right leg is going to land better than your left, although that probably happens. We want to ensure that both legs are doing their fair share. All right? So what did that is, we're working hip stability on either side. We're going to do one more. If you have somewhere you can anchor this, great. I'm going to do it without anchor just in case. So I can use, once again, I can do this double. If this is too much, then I'm just going to go single. I'm going to plant my feet and go back to the first leg, whichever that was that you started with. And I have one hand here. So I'm looking right at you. Here we go. And I'm going to pull this and bring it in. So my leg is off the ground. This is my anchor. And I'm going to pull back and in, just like I'm doing a bow and arrow. Back and in. Now by using one arm as the anchor, I do actually engage my core a whole lot more. But I find sometimes that if I put this on a stable surface and anchor it onto something else, I can actually just get a little bit more range of motion. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Honestly, if you have the ability, do both. And I'll show it to you both ways. So first with you as the anchor. So this is similar to if you were to use a bow and arrow. Start here, pull back. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do that same side again. I know sometimes we get used to, okay, I'm going to switch. This gets a break. Is that truly how everything works, how the life works? A lot of times, no. It's the same thing over and over and over. So I'm going to anchor this one now. And I'm going to do what I just did a moment ago. I could use this arm just like it did. I'm going to have the leg up, belly in, and pull it back and in. And in. Could I anchor with my arm again? Yes. In this case, I'm using a surface or a piece of furniture that I own to be able to anchor this down and pull. But I can do it holding it myself just as I did a moment ago. Now at this point I'm doing 10 of them just because it's a good number. My mind kind of can wrap itself around that. But if I get to 10 and I'm really not feeling enough, this is too easy, it's not eliciting a response to my body, then keep going. Or double it up, or get a band that is harder. Okay? I want a response. I want you to start to feel in your side body, in your shoulder, maybe in your feet, your calves. 3, and I was talking, so I actually went beyond 10, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to unhook so I can do the other side. Once again, remember we started with our self anchor. So even on tired legs, this is a good workout to do, and you might not be agreeing with me right now, but it's a good workout to do because when we're tired, it's when we usually find that we get lazy in some movements and we can get injured. even doing the most benign things like walking up a step or crossing a threshold or walking on a sidewalk that's a little uneven. So sometimes it's almost ideal to work on some balance, and after a heavy workout, maybe not right after, but after a heavy workout the following day or that evening, so that neurologically your body remembers and knows how to keep its balance. How do we lose our balance? A lot of times it has to do with our eyes, our vision, but fatigue, dehydration, anything that causes our body to be at a less than ideal state. So working on some of this when it is in a less than ideal state is helpful. And this isn't really all about like my shoulder and my arms, although they are participating. A lot of this is all in my core and my stabilization of my movements. And hopefully you keep going even if I talk. Okay. My kids used to love that movie, Hunger Games. So every time I do this, I think of like Katniss, the main character, and she liked to do a bow and arrow. That was her thing. She was very good at it. So every time I do this, think bow and arrow. Maybe it's Robin Hood, maybe it's Katniss, whomever. Here's 3, and 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to anchor again. You can either anchor or self-anchor. So I will describe that. Hold and pull. So engagement and twist. Notice, if you can, I'm not moving my foot from its original position. So my ankles, the ligaments surrounding, have to work double time as I twist my body back and move this resistance tube. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a significant difference in range of motion when I'm able to anchor it again on something versus hold it in my other hand. Significant enough that if you can do it, try it. Not so significant that if you don't have an anchor that this is going to be all for naught. Okay. Now you might find, so sometimes on one side versus the other, like I'm starting to feel it in my glutes, in my hips. You're like, but how? You're using your shoulders and your back. I have no idea. No, it's just what's working, or what is maybe a little fatigued and has to overwork, and that might be where you fail it. Here's 3, 2, and 1. All right, shake out the legs. We are going to do at least one more balance movement. And again, this is a great one to do even after tough workouts. Like you might not agree, because legs are fatigued, this will be challenging, but that's okay. We want some challenge. So I am going to put this in the foot that I didn't just use, and I'm going to step my leg back. Now, I think this is going to be a little too close. So I'm actually going to hold it outside of the handles. Figure out what's good for you and you see what we're going to do. So I'm going to think of my body like a T. Here is the base of the T. My knee might be slightly bent, so it will be a little bit of a crooked T. But I'm going to think of pushing my chest forward at the same time, my back leg extended, like a T. And then the arms are just going to kind of follow through, pulling back. So I'm going to pull these and row these up here, and at the same time, hinge here, and come back. Hinge, pull. Okay, balance, and pull. Okay. Whoops. So work on engaging, pulling the shoulders back, engaging, pulling the shoulders together, hinging forward, leg back, and up. I am taking this slower on purpose. What I don't want is that, okay? Work at pulling this chest down. Now maybe this back leg doesn't even come up that much. I'm going to feel a lot here, even if my back leg isn't lifted. Or I lift it and come up. A lot of ankle, foot, arch stability right now. Okay, we're going to do 5 more on this side. And then I'm going to give you a challenge. Usually when I say that, everyone goes, oh. So maybe you just did. So there are modifications. The modification is not to even lift that leg up, right? Last one. Okay. What was the challenge, you ask? We're going to take it to that T, and I'm going to just move my arms as I hold that T. Do as many as you can before you come down back to earth. So get yourself in position, take flight, and then the arms. If you start to bring that body up, push it back down, lift that leg back up. Ah. That was like 8. Oh well. Shake it out. We're going to do the other side. All right. Same thing. So, can you say, I didn't want a leg workout. Technically not a leg workout, but yes, it sort of is. It's all about balance. And if you have to balance and support yourself, it's considered a core workout because our core is from here to here, our spine. Everything that stems from it is working your core. So if I have to hold here and I do something like this, it actually involves my core. If I have to do this, it involves my core. Particularly if I have to balance and move, it involves my core. So that's really what we're doing. Believe me, if it was a leg exercise, you'd know. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This time, hinge, leg, lift, and down. Okay. So it can be all one movement like I just did where the leg and body work together. And then we lift. It could be a 3-parter. 1, 2, 3. So it's almost a 5-parter if you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all on how you look at it. What we're going to try and do is keep the hips stable. So as you come down, part of why I did that 5-parter is if I bend here, then my leg still stays, my hips still stay stable, and I don't start moving them up. So keep it stable, lift, and in. 5 more. Sometimes when we try to do one movement, it gets a little jumbled and we lose sight of the movement. Two more. Last one. There goes my balance. Bonus round. So we're going to hold here, balance, and go. And I got to 8 again. All right, shake it out. All right, there we go. So that whole round was really all about stabilization, core, balance. Let's get some more. I'm gonna keep this to the side. Okay, let's do a lot more abdominals. So we're gonna come down to the floor. Go ahead though and come down to hands and knees first. Place the hands down, knees underneath the hips, lift, lift, and place down. So thing to think about here is I don't want my knees close together when I do this, because what happens is I tend to shift this way. Okay, I want those knees, so if I look down, it is a square. I'm going to place my weight into that leg, legs up, here, and down, here, and down, here, down. Head is neutral, so I'm trying not to let it hang down. In this case, sometimes I'll use a block or something that I have in the area. So if I took, dirty I think, but whatever. That pillow, whatever you used earlier, to balance on, so you can see it moving as I move. The objective is not to let it move. Okay. I'll show you what happens if I bring my knees together so you can kind of see. There it moves. There. Okay, so there is a big difference, and that was why I was using this to illustrate. Let's do like 4 more. So it's right there in the center of your back. Okay, stabilize, find that square. If you really want to make it interesting, put a mug or a bowl of something. Ideally no liquid, because God forbid that falls, but you could put like a bowl of cereal, noodles, something that would be easy to clean up or vacuum, and you balance it right there. Like if you ever watched the YouTube with Katie Ledecky when she was swimming, she literally put a cup of milk on her head with a snorkel and swam across the length of a pool without dropping the milk, without spilling it. That is this on crack. Like that is complete stabilization and mobilization of your spine. So using props like that is very helpful in this case. Okay, I'm gonna swing my legs here forward. And we're gonna do a couple of like roll downs and roll ups and then add to it. So I can either have my legs extended. I prefer sometimes to keep my knees a little bit bent because I'm going to use my legs just in case. So I'm going to pull. So we talked earlier about where the hips, how we moved it, especially to go back into that barrel roll. So here, my hips are here. And I'm going to start to scoop my belly, scoop, so I can feel now from my sit bones to the top of my hips, or my lower upper butt, to my lower back, here, 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 and down. So it's not as smooth as I would like it to be because my spine is not as flexible as it might be. But I'm working on every vertebrae, like rolling up or rolling back. So now I'm going to take tuck, now the upper spine, middle, coming into here, lower spine, and all the way up. Let's do that 4 more times. Okay, so finding, like feeling, if I could put sensors so that it could light up every time something touched. And all the way back. And all the way up. Okay, and then this reach. 3 more. Ideally, this would be a little bit more rolled, but you know, you work with what you have. Life has brought us to this place. We can't change the path that we took to get here. We can merely just work with what we have for the future. Last one. And all the way up. Okay. Now I'm going to focus primarily right here in my abdominal muscles. So I'm going to take this back. I'm either going to come onto my forearms, or I can lay down, or I can just bring my shoulders up. So I'm going to give you choices because you're going to feel it a certain way. I'm going to take my right leg, lift, and lower. Lift and lower. I just want this leg to be the only thing moving. So what I mean by that is if I'm, and you see my whole body having to force that leg up, that's not helping. Straight up, straight down. That doesn't mean when I get here that I'm not trying to pull this in more, using my hip flexors, using my abdominal muscles. But if this leg starts to come up in response, it's too much. I want this leg as if someone has duct taped it to the floor. Okay, this same leg here. Okay, if we're just trying to be whatever, I'd say 90. It's like 85. I'm going to take it to 45. And now I'm going to do a circle. Again, just the leg is mobile. I am not, see, I don't know if you saw that, but my shoulders started to move, my legs started to wiggle, my whole body moved with that movement. I want everything quiet except for that leg. Three, 2, hold, reverse. How many? Until you feel a response. If you're just doing this without even thinking, then You either need to make that circle a little bigger, you need to do a few more, so you need to do something. But if your thigh is starting to cramp and you're feeling it like it's about to seize up, then do what you can and then give it a rest. Let's do the same thing with the other side. First it's up and down. Okay? And maybe at first you can just put your hands here and you feel how that body responds. What is going on here? What happens if I lift my shoulders? Do I start to feel more abdominal? Is it easier? Is it harder? Here's 2. Hold, lower halfway, and now. If you start to feel that side to side, hold, other way. Both legs have done it. I'm going to pull these knees in about 90 degrees. I'm going to bring my shoulders up, hands behind the head. Pull these in. So bring knees together, inner thigh together. Right elbow, left knee, together. Together. Cross, in. Cross, in. Cross, hold. Cross, hold. Four, 3, 2, 1, hold the center and go, 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 go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Center, reach, pull it in. Hands migrate to the back of the knees. Roll up and lower and up and lower and up and lower and up. Get to a point where you're not kicking the legs. Hold it up. Roll it up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Hold here. Hold. Knees together. Take it down. Legs up. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, and in. We have this nearby, useful or not. So we're up here, hinge down, part way, legs up, tap, up, down, up, up, down, up, 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 5, knees together. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Knees 90, arms out. Take it down halfway. Hold. 3, 2. Center. Other side. Hold. 3, 2. Center. Arms are here as anchors, but do you need them? Hold. 3, 2. Center. Hold. 3, 2. Center. Halfway. 3, 2. Center. Halfway. 3, 2. Center. 3 more. Each side. 2. Center. 3, 2. Center. 3, 2. Center. We have one more each direction. Pull it back in, thighs together for 3, 2, and back, thighs together for 3, 2, and center. We're going to do another set in a moment. Pull these in, give them a big hug. Knees 90 degrees or extended. Take it halfway. Take it another quarter. Almost touching, not quite. Bring it up. Halfway, a quarter, and up. So we've got a 3/4 turn here. Here and up. Shoulders stay, turn, and up. Shoulders stay, turn, and up. Okay, make sure you're breathing. Stable. So a big piece of us probably wants to go all the way to the ground because there's some relief there. Hover just above. Hover where your shoulders don't start to peel up. They come close. Let's do 3 more, each direction. Last 2. Knees together. Last 1. And other side. 4, 3, 2, and up. All right, ready for one more? We're going to keep the shoulders on the ground, legs straight up 90, okay, or as close as you can. So legs together here, arms to the side. You might find you can come up on the shoulders a little bit, a little harder. You might even have the arms up here. We're going to take the right foot down, bring it up, down, up. This taps completely to the floor before the other one comes back up, or before the other one goes down. And up, and up. So I can also do this, shoulders on the ground, abs in, Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold both legs up, take them out wide, and pull them back in. Take them out wide, and in. Open, and in. Open, in. Gravity helps here, you here. Out, in. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull it in. Oof. And then come over to one side. So I'm going to fully extend my legs so that everything is stacked on top of each other. I can take my head down here. I can lay it down. I'm going to now take my bottom leg and bend the knee 90 degrees so that what I don't do is start to lean back. Okay, I'm going to keep this stacked. So however you support your head, raise it up, lower down, up, down. We're going to start with toe pointing toward you. Okay? So foot is basically parallel to the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to turn my foot up and that way. I'm still stacked. So if this means I now dropped my hip, put your hand in front here so that you use it as a kickstand and up. Toe, toe, point it, drop it, point it, drop it. Four, 3, 2, and hold. Bring it down. Bring both feet together and now pull the knees. So if I was to look down my rear end, I would see my heels. Not quite because my hips are higher than my feet. If I look forward here, my knees are together. So I'm going to open and close, knees together. Open, close. Five, 4, 3, 2, and now we reverse. Keep the knees together, open, down, up, down, heel, lift, lower, heel, lift, lower. Good. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just the heel, just the heel. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the legs once more. Bottom leg starts to bend. And circles. Just like we did when we were laying down, just this leg. Okay, pull everything in here. Don't make the circle too big. And now see if you can hold it. Make the circle bigger. Make the circle bigger. 3, 2, we're not done. All right, same thing, reverse. So hopefully you remember which direction you went. I'm sure your body will remind you any moment now. Small. Bigger. This is usually when we start to rock. Hold everything. Bigger. Bigger. 4, 3, 2. Please, let's do the other side. Okay. Same thing, other side, and then we'll be done, kind of. Well, maybe, I got something else up my sleeve, but hey, that's always the fun. Okay, hopefully you can see my face still. I can see the camera, so we're good. Bend, everything lines up, toe touch, up, and up. So this might be important when we count, so that we don't do too many of one and not be able to do anything else. Yeah, that's a real thing. 2, now that toe turns. So down, up, down, up, down, up. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet together, knees in. Open, close. Open, close. So if you actually put your hands here, you're going to feel that gluteus medius. Open, close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the reverse. Up, lift, knee, heel. Heel, knee, down. Heel, knee, down. Up, up. Good. 4, 3, 2. Last one, just the ankle. Up, down, up, down. 4, 3. Here comes the fun. You ready for those circles? Okay. Extend, bend, And here we go. Oh boy, this side, I don't know why. It's a little bit more than the other. 4, 3. A little bigger. I might run into my treadmill here. Oh boy. Three, 2, my goodness. Rub it out, smack it out. Other side. And we have one more thing for the spine, so you're gonna love it, don't worry. Here we go. Over. It's the other way. So I start with like dinner plate sizes, right? Dinner plate, dinner plate. Then I start with maybe a serving plate. And then I start with maybe go with a barrel. And a keg. 4, 3, 2. Leg's gonna fall off. Boop, boop. All right, onto your tummy. This is the finale, what I meant to say, whatever. I think I'm getting hungry. So I'm gonna extend my arms and my legs, neutral head. First, I'm gonna pull my legs in like someone has tied them together. Then I'm gonna pull my belly in, and now I'm gonna lift wait, I actually want to bring my arms out either here. Actually, I want to take them back. Because first thing I want to do is pretend like someone has duct taped my legs to the ground. Don't let them lift up. So my head is neutral, my arms are down to my sides, belly in, and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. And again, breathe in, hold, shoulders back, head looks forward, relax, extend your fingers, 3, 2, and down. Here's where we start to move the arms a little bit, but not the legs. Lift up, feet stay on the floor, start to open, 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 and in. And again, belly in, shoulders, everything lifts. Reach back first, and maybe turn the palms out, out, out. Look ahead, and bring it back. Now we start to add the legs, keeping the feet or the thighs together, belly in, engage, everything lifts for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same thing once again. Belly in, everything lifts for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Now we start to move. Everything in, belly in, lift up, start to reach. And in, and reach, and in. Legs extend, arms extend. 3, 2, it's like snow angels, and 1. One more. We're not going to think about snow though. It's still like 80 something out. Belly in, everything up. Snow, angels, sand, angels, grass, angels, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Push everything up. Pull the knees in, push the hips back, reach, extend, and lower. I think this is actually longer than I intended, so feel free to use portions of this. Take this right arm under. Work at getting the hips down, reach over. And then I'm going to take this behind my head, all fours. I'm going to raise up and down. Up and down. Open and close. 4, 3, 2, other side. First this under, take the hips back, work the shoulder. Yep, it's that time. If you didn't know what that weird noise was, it was a yawn. Okay, bring it back. Hand up. Good. And open. So my hand is here, but I'm really just pulling that shoulder, not the elbow, the shoulder back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both hands on, curl the toes under, drive the hips up. Oh, big stretch. Big yawn, hips up, push into the floor. And start to walk the feet in, walk the hands in, fold forward, reach back. Release. Hands on the shins. And all the way up. Great job. All right. See you again soon. Excellent job. Keep using this one. So hopefully we got a lot of things moving and grooving. Great job. Until next time.